So this is an image of a photograph, I should say, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner in the prime minister's office meeting with Netanyahu as Israeli's cabinet prepares to vote on this peace deal. President Trump has said that all hostages will be released in one group. This is very, very important because this undermines the leverage that Hamas has held for these 2 years, and that release will happen on Monday or Tuesday. So with that, I would like to bring in Michael Oren, former Israeli ambassador to the United States from 2009 to 2013. He also served in the Israeli Defense Forces, fighting in the 1982 and 2006 Lebanon wars. Michael Oren, thank you. Thank you for sitting along with me as we watch this out of the Oval Office. You know, before we went to the Oval Office, you were saying there are things that are not being said about this deal and fully understood. Share those with us, if you would.
Good to be with you, Martha.
Good to have you.
Thank you. How did it happen? I'm just asking, how does this president succeed where certainly the last two presidents before him, Biden, Obama, did not succeed? And there are very simple reasons. One is that this president was willing to use power. People previously thought that you could use soft power in the Middle East. Certainly that's not going to wash. In the Middle East, people respect presidents, leaders who exert power or project power. This president did it first against the Houthis in Yemen, then against Iran. And that gave him tremendous, tremendous leverage. Also personal relationships. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner have personal relationships throughout this entire region. Now, before I was ambassador, before I was a soldier, I was a professor of diplomatic and military history. I looked at those 20 points and I said, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. This is a tremendous act of elegant diplomacy to get countries who don't agree with one another, never mind with Israel, never mind with the Palestinians or the United States, get them all to agree on a peace plan that not only solves the Gaza issue, but begins to address the entire Middle East conflict. I really don't see any precedent for it, certainly not in modern Middle Eastern memory. So this is how it happened. It's a combination of using power and personal relationships. And that has not been done in many, many years.
I also think that President Trump always had an optimism that it could happen, that he wanted to see peace, and that if he worked hard enough at it and got at it from every different angle, that it would be possible. And I think that is an extraordinary thing to recognize in what he has pulled off here. Let's just put these images up of the hostages that are set to be released on the wall, because I really want people to think about what the last 2 years have been like for the families of these people. And we have interviewed several of these families. Some of these people will come home not alive, and 20 of them are expected to be returned alive. And for every one of these faces, Michael, there is a tragic, painful story of the past 2 years. And I want now to put up some of the images and the video from October 7th, because I want people to remember how barbaric this attack was. Your thoughts?
This was a trauma that was utterly inconceivable on October 6, 2023. That terrorists would come across our border at 120 different locations. They broke through that border, attacked 46 different peaceful communities, and killed 1,200 people. Now, 1,200 people in American terms would be about 44,000 people. Can you imagine 44,000 people, God forbid, being killed over the course of maybe 6 or 7 hours? But not just killed, beheaded, raped, burnt, families tied together and set on fire and immolated. And then 252 hostages, the equivalent of about 5,000 Americans, also being dragged into unspeakable torture, starvation, rape, and constant beatings in Gaza. Now, imagine, I don't want you to imagine this because it's actually inconceivable, but this is what we endured.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the videos, so I don't have to just imagine it. It was like nothing I've ever seen in my life in terms of the pain that were inflicted on the children and these families. Is it your understanding that these hostages, what can you tell us about how they are going to come back? Because we've seen these humiliation performances that have been done where they stand surrounded by Hamas gunmen. Most of them look emaciated, having lived in tunnels. What do you expect to see on Monday or Tuesday, we're now hearing?
Well, one of the fears that Israel has that they'll start force feeding them before they're released. And we know, even from the Holocaust, that to give people who have been starved a lot of food can actually kill them. And we've been in this strange situation of asking Hamas not to force feed them, because that can do damage. But here's an interesting fact. I have now talked to several psychologists who have dealt with hostages coming back, and they tell me something extraordinary, which is that human beings have a tremendous resilience. And many of these people coming out of hostages saying, in those tunnels, in the darkness, in the torture, I learned who I really was and learned my inner strength. And that's a source of great hope.
Well, a lot of people have been praying for them, and I think that gives them strength as well. And we look forward to these individuals being reunited with their families, some of whom we spoke with just this week. So, Michael Oren, thank you
very much,
very much for being with us today. So.